When we're unburdened by mortgage and rent payments and debt, that creates an environment where art and humanity can flourish. And that's very much the case with this next incredible tiny home that we're about to visit, which has given a musician the ability to completely focus on his art. G'day Chris, how's it going, mate?
How's it going, man? Good to meet you, Bryce.
It's great to meet you, and what a cool space you've created here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a labour of love. It was a joy to build. It was difficult at times, but got through it. I'm really happy with the final result.
So to kick things off, what was it that really inspired you to build a tiny house?
I was actually your channel. It was
Awesome.
your channel, man. Me and my ex were watching movies one night, and then a tiny house video came up after the movie, and I was like, I want to do that. There was one tiny house that I was super inspired by, Jesse in Melbourne, where you filmed.
Yeah.
I think the word you used was whimsical. Yeah, you used the word whimsical for his cladding, and it just the way his house was set up and the situation and the big window, and it was just so inspirational. And I knew, being a musician on a lower income, that I couldn't afford a conventional household. Not only that, I didn't want to service a mortgage for 30 years of my life.
Yeah.
So this was the only option.
And what a great option it is.
Yeah.
And you've constructed this home yourself, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Literally, I was up until like 2 a.m. for 8 months searching marketplace, woods, materials, recycled windows, doors, you name it.
That's so cool. And had you ever attempted a project like this before?
I'd never, ever attempted anything like this. What led me to believing that I could do this was building a guitar pedal board.
Right.
So sort of constructing all the pedals on a guitar board and sort of using my creativity. And when I saw the tiny house, your channel, I thought to myself, I can do this, you know.
Amazing. And can you tell me a bit about your music?
Yeah, so I'm a singer-songwriter. I go under the name Carouse, C-A-R-O-U-S-E. What I do is a mixture of sort of soul, pop, jazz, blues, funk. But at the moment I'm focusing on my pop music and releasing singles, getting songs out there to the world and inspiring other musicians.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And what an amazing place to do it from.
Yes, absolutely. It's been so much joy being able to create the house and then create music inside the house and reflecting on the build process and writing songs, etc.
Yeah. Making art inside your own art.
Yes, exactly.
And what size is the house?
The house is 6.3 meters long by 2.4 wide.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And can you tell me about the design of the home?
Yeah, so basically the exterior is shadow clad, tug and groove ply, recycled windows and doors, which again on marketplace. So I got this lovely big window here, which cost me $20.
Wow.
The downside is that they are single glazed.
Yeah.
But that's why I've got a little log burner in there to keep myself warm.
Yeah, essential in Christchurch anyway, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the parking spot that you've got here is really cool as well. Can you talk to me about this place?
Yeah, so the parking spot, that's definitely a story. When I was living over the hill, I knew that I needed a flat space to create the house. So I took it upon myself to create some documents, go through the tunnel here to the flatter part of Christchurch and put some leaflets and leaflet dropping in letterboxes. So I did that, and as I dropped it next door, the guy actually came out, which was quite interesting because it was sort of a fundamental meeting, I like to call it. So we got chatting and I gave him the leaflet and he said, my parents own this land and I'd love to take the leaflet up to them and see what happens. So about an hour later, I received a text message, and the text message said, you can build on this land for $10 a week.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like everything just fell into place.
That's so cool, eh? It's like the power of asking, eh?
Yes.
You never know what you're going to get until you ask for it.
Until you ask.
That's
Absolutely.
so cool. And I see you've got the solar power on the roof as well?
Yes, the solar power was absolutely something I wanted to do. It's two 370 watt panels generating 740 in total.
Great.
So it's enough to power my mobile phone, my laptop computer and lights for the evening. And the inverter and battery, etc. are all under the house. The inverter's actually in a box, which the fireplace came in, actually just happened just to fit snugly inside the mini meg fire box.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I see you've got some really good veggie gardens going here, and you've even built a greenhouse.
Yeah, it was essential for me to build a greenhouse so I could basically live off the land. I mean, prices are becoming really difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
So it was, essential again for me to live off the land and grow stuff in a greenhouse. So it was just basically leftover materials from the tiny house.
Awesome. I love that. What a great way of using the materials.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
It's neat. You've got the shower door there as well.
I
like
do
that.
have a bifolding shower door there, yeah.
Yeah,
It works a treat.
That's so cool. Well, the outside of the home looks so good, and I cannot wait to see what you've done inside. Can we check it out?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, this is great. And it is toasty and warm in here as well.
Yeah, so being this time of year, there's no reason not to get the fire going each morning.
Absolutely. And I love the way that we sort of enter right into this kitchen space.
Yeah, I saw the design of a tiny house on your previous video. I just loved being able to come through the front doors and just opening yourself up to the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a beautiful kitchen it is. These bench tops are especially nice.
Yeah, thank you, Bryce. Yeah, this is macrocarpa, and it took a little bit of time to shape and polish, and yeah, I'm super, super happy the way it came out.
Nice big sink.
Yeah, the butler's basin, again, I saw online, and I thought, have to have a nice, big, beautiful white basin in the house.
Yeah. And I really like the feature tile work in here as well.
Yeah, no, it was also a lucky find too. So the tiles, most of the tiles are behind the fireplace, and then I just wanted to carry on that theme behind the kitchen taps and beyond.
Yeah, very nice. And lovely with the window up there with a gorgeous view to the outside.
Yeah, it's just part of the situation here. I get to have a cup of tea in the morning, look out at the sheep and see the sunrise. It's really lovely.
Absolutely. No shortage of storage here either?
Yeah, there's significant storage here. Again, this stuff was online and it was cheap and rustic. So yeah, I thought let's add it into the equation.
So pretty much everything in here you've reclaimed then, have you?
This is all reclaimed material as far as I know and can see, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And a good amount of prep space here too?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, that's right. No, you've got your dishes here and then prep space over there, and it's just a little manoeuvre to make things happen.
Absolutely. And you've got a bit more storage under the stairs as well?
Yeah, I thought to myself, how am I going to get up to the loft space? Initially, it was, I thought, a ladder. But I saw this roll and roll out stair unit, and I thought, why not utilise that? And then I thought, what am I going to put beside the little stair unit? And then this Rimu cabinet became available, and it fit in perfectly.
Nice.
Some things in this build, I don't know, just happened so perfectly. It's like, how does it happen? But it just does.
Yeah, just meant to be.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And what's that above the cabinet there?
So this is a refrigerator. Yeah, I just wanted to build a casing around it.
Yeah, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
But the fridge isn't being used at the moment?
The fridge is not being used at the moment, unfortunately. No, I'd like to use a fridge, but it just takes up too much solar.
Right.
This time of year, I've actually got a little underfloor situation where I put my butter and oat milk and things like that.
Well, it's cold enough here in the winter, isn't it?
Exactly.
Hey, you don't really need a fridge in the
Exactly.
winter. And what do we have behind the door there?
Yes, so there's a bathroom back here with a composting toilet and shower.
Yep.
And it all works and functions nicely. I'm really happy with the result.
And it's really compact the way that you built it into that space.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it was quite tricky to get in there and do it all, but I got in there and did it. And there's a few tiles, a few nice tiles, and there's a decorative feature in the corner, which I'm quite happy with, which sort of runs through the theme of the staircase and also up in the loft space too.
Yeah, very nice. I like that a lot. And it's an interesting detail, the way that the door meets the kitchen bench there.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to compromise the fact that it was such a beautiful curve on the end of that macrocarpa. So I just, basically what I did was just routed out part of the door and I fit in there fine, so it works for me.
Yeah, just a bit of a squeeze.
Slight squeeze.
I'm personally a big fan over keeping a nice decorative element at the expense of a little bit of function.
Yes.
Fair enough. And then the lounge over here looks so cozy.
Yeah, I do find this space really cozy, actually. It's the heart of the home. It's where the fireplace sits, and it's where I write songs and I chill out and eat my meals at the table, etc., and just marvel at the lovely woodwork.
Gorgeous. Really nice how you've got the desk in here as well.
It's interesting. It actually came from the old flat that I had, and initially I was going to get another one, but I thought, well, if I'm building a tiny house, it's such a tiny, there's no smaller desk than that desk.
Yeah, fits perfectly in the space. And when you're inside the lounge as well, that massive feature window really dominates the space, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, the big window was something that I really wanted to let all that beautiful sunshine in and warm and liven up the place with the light. And so I'm really, really, really happy with the window.
Yeah, and the couch there just looks like it wants to swallow you up.
Yes, and it very much does swallow you up, that couch. That super comfortable couch, that one, Bryce. It's Go and sit on it for yourself. You'll see.
Yeah, it definitely looks it. And you've got a bit of storage up there as well?
Yes, there is storage space up there. It's a little bit crammed at the moment. I'm looking at minimalising slightly, but it does the trick. And I've got spring water up there, 20 litres of spring water, which funnels down.
But you are on main supply for your water here as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am on main supply for water, and I could probably get by with it, but being on the mains is definitely helpful.
Absolutely. Great that you found a spot for the surfboard too.
I was thinking, should I put it underneath the house? But I thought, no, it's a bit of a feature. It also has on top, there's a few things up there as well, like the wetsuit, and stores the toilet paper up there and a couple of other things too. So it's like a makeshift shelf.
Yeah, like a giant shelf there too.
Yeah.
I like it. And beautiful timber work on the ceiling up there.
Yeah, thank you, Bryce. Yeah, this is recycled Remu, and it was really affordable. Super, super affordable from an old guy. Was ripped down from an old, I think it was an old shed or something, he said, and gave me all the Remu slats to go with it and a couple of other pieces, which we'll get to later too.
Yeah, great. Because Remu is such a beautiful timber, but it's so expensive. So when you can reclaim it and show it off like you've done in here, it's always nice to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm very proud of that roof indeed.
As you should be. Really nice light feature in here as well.
Yeah, so the copper lampshade was something that I actually brought before I started the house. It's actually a top of a hot water cylinder.
Right.
Yeah, so it was created into a lampshade, and I thought I'll have that.
Yeah, fair enough. And timber and copper is a combination that just can't be beat.
Yes, it's aesthetically very pleasing.
Yeah, I completely agree. The timber floors are absolutely exquisite. They're like this lovely chocolate brown, aren't they?
Yes, they also second-hand reclaim recycled materials, and they came from a really nice fellow, and they were pre-varnished, so I didn't have to do much work really.
Awesome.
I think I had to take a few nails out and then basically just nail them to the subfloor.
Yeah, fantastic. I really like the feature shelf you built there too.
Oh, thank you, Bryce. You're full of compliments today. It's it was basically a piece left over from the bench top.
Right.
And I thought to myself, how am I going to utilise that? And then a light bulb went off in my head one afternoon, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a lean on. So I basically carried out the same process, which was carving and moulding and shaping, and then found the steel frame eventually for it to fit on the wall. I did want to tie in that aesthetic into the living room, and I think it fits quite well.
It definitely does. And can we check out the loft upstairs?
Yes, absolutely. Follow me.
Cool. Oh, what a cozy little nook you've created up here.
Yeah, thank you, Bryce. Yeah, it is. No, absolutely. It's lovely to sleep up here. You've got the views out the windows of the surrounding vegetation and the sheep, etc. And it's just really super cozy and comfortable.
Yeah, quite magical what you've done up here with the lighting too.
Oh, with the fairy lights, yeah, the fairy lights was a feature that wasn't so long ago that I put them up. I had these two down lights and they were a little bit too dominant. So I thought I need something a little bit moody but still quite nice and sort of striking. So I put up the fairy lights, and I'm not really a fan of how they look sort of when they're not on as a feature, as a piece, but when they're on at night time, they really light up the space.
And that is especially important in a loft as well, because you're so close to the ceiling that the lights can be really, really harsh. So having a soft lighting option in a loft is quite essential, isn't it?
I think me personally, I just like dim lighting in general.
Yeah.
Even downstairs, I just burn one lamp every night, but up here, yeah, it just gives off that sort of atmospheric sort of glow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like the details that you've added into the timber in the corners too.
Yeah, so they were part of downstairs as well. Like when you came up the stairs, there's also a little, I'm not sure exactly what you call them, but sort of maybe architraves.
Right.
Sort of corner architraves. Yeah, I just wanted something up here that was slightly Oriental, Balinese inspired.
No compromise on the size of the bed up here.
No, it is a Super King mattress, and just means that I can spread out and sleep as wide as possible.
Nice. And so how long have you been living in the home now?
I've been living in the tiny house for 2 years.
Wow. And how are you finding tiny house life?
I absolutely adore it, Bryce. Honestly, I don't think I can go back to just normal conventional living. I think it was the downsizing as well, just sort of eliminating all that material possessions and just just diminishing all those possessions and just living off the land and having a sort of comfortable little cozy space to operate in. So I wouldn't change it for a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially working in a profession like you do, which is such a creative venture, having a space where you can retreat to create your art must just be so essential.
Oh, it's an amazing thing to be able to just sit in here and write songs, be inspired by building the house and looking out to the garden, and yeah.
And to have built this home with your own hands, what a tremendous sense of accomplishment you must have in this.
I'm very proud of my achievements here. I won't lie. You know, I never thought I'd accomplish anything like this. I'd never built anything in my life, and I just took it upon myself to create a little home for myself, and, you know, I've achieved it. When I was renting, there would be no compromise on putting pins in walls or anything, but now I can just do whatever I like. So it's just putting a finishing touch on something. If I find something in the house, I'm like, I could make that a little bit more functional than what it currently is. So I really enjoy that. There's no simpler way than just stating that the fact that I built this home with my brain and my hands and my creative spirit lends itself to me being creative inside the space too. So it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to write songs and to create music in this space and call the space home, and to say I wrote that song in my house. It's a wonderful, heartwarming experience.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this home?
The cost of this home was roughly $36,500 to $37,000 tops.
Wow. What an accomplishment.
Yes, I'm feeling really, really good about it.
And so now your home is finished, you're well settled in. What does the future hold for you now?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about this space. I may move at some point, but for now it's really fantastic. The landlords are super accommodating. We have a lovely relationship. I get to do what I like. I don't have to ask if I want to build something or plant something. So it's very much my little space. And I guess I just want to operate from here as a full-time musician. And, you know, also having the tiny house gives me the opportunity to go away and travel and play music in different parts of the world, and over the winter time, and come back during the summertime, grow vegetables and be a happy man.
What a plan. Well, Chris, not only have you built yourself such a beautiful home, but also a fantastic lifestyle to go with it. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Awesome to be here. Chris has built such an incredible home for himself here. But what I love so much more than the house itself is what it allows him to do. This home has given him an unprecedented level of freedom to be able to truly follow his passions, create his art, and put his music out into the world. And there's no greater gift than that.